Hey everybody, I'm PincheAls Garage. On today's episode, we're going to show you on a Mark II how we're going to do a swap with the gas pedal and the clutch kit. So check this out really quick down here. So down here we have Fabless Manufacturing's full swap kit, and this is probably one of the best kits on the market. This is going to get you pretty much everything you need to put a clutch system and a drive-by-wire system in your Mark II. So on this episode of PincheAls Garage, let's get to work, because that's what we do. Swap out, because this is probably the easiest thing to do on a Mark II, and that's going to be right here. There's a little clip right here that you need to pry and pull out towards you. Once that's done, there's a little metal bar that's inside here that pulls all the way out, and then this whole gas pedal legitimately just comes right out. So let's do that first, and then we're going to show you what to do next. Alright, so now we're inside the MK2. And we're going to show you how to remove first the gas pedal, because the gas pedal is kind of like the easiest one first, and it's super simple. Right here there's a little flat little metal bar or plate, I guess you can call it, and this little plate holds pretty much this metal bar in place. And what we're going to do is we're going to pry this guy. There we go. And so if we're not going to reuse this piece, you can literally just break it off as best you can. There we go. And then with some vice grips here, try to yank that sucker out. Just like that. So this is the guy that you gotta take out. And then there's like a little metal bar that goes across right here. And then there's a little hook for your actual accelerator cable, your factory accelerator cable. And that pops out. That's not actually important anymore. And that's the removal of your gas pedal on a Mark II. Now the next step is actually mounting the new Fabless manufacturing pedal, and we're going to show you how to do that. I mean, this is, like I said, this is hands down the easiest thing you're going to do today for a conversion on the Mark II, from going from cable driven to drive-by-wire, which is electronic. You good? Yep. All right. So here's Fabless Manufacturing's drive-by-wire bracket. You'll see here there's a hole here and here. This is gonna pretty much, this is not a hole, but this is a little brace. So it goes in like this, and it goes in where the factory gas pedal went, right up here, just like that. And then you run the bolt right through. The only catch is it's kind of a pain in the booty to get the bolt to run through correctly. It's got a weird alignment, so there's a couple ways you can try to do it. There we go. Ah, there we go. Pull that, and then get that guy to go all the way over. And then you're going to need your washer. Oh! freaking A. That hurt. Okay, back to work. Lock it up. And you put your washer and your little nylon or your nut right here. Like that. And then these right here, these 3 nuts and 3 washers are what hold your gas pedal in place right here. This is the gas pedal. This is a Mark IV drive-by-wire 1.8T. There are differences between the TDI and the 2.0 and the VR6 ones. Definitely pay attention to that because they are specific to certain throttle positions. I think the VR6 and the 1.8T are swappable, but I think the 2.0 and the TDIs are not. So this goes here, mounts kind of like that. And then you're going to tighten your bolts down. It's kind of hard to see, but actually no, it's not kind of hard to see. This camera does so good. Well, we're going to do, like I said, kind of a janky mounting right now. Just to give you guys an idea, we're going to tighten everything down once we're done filming here, and we'll show you an end result. So it kind of looks like that. Obviously you're going to make sure you have everything under tension, and then that's your gas pedal. Bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Pretty dope. I'm going to get this all tightened down right now, and I'll show you guys the after results. See you guys in just a minute. Alright, so now that we got the gas pedal on, we're going to show you the tools that you need. I should have showed this earlier. You're going to need a flathead, a pair of snips or dikes, 13 millimeter and 11 millimeter socket, 13 millimeter wrenches. Vice grip will help a lot too. So the flathead and the wire cutter or the dikes are to cut the gas pedal wire. The flathead and the vice grips are to pull the little metal plate out that holds the factory gas pedal in place, just like that. That job gets done pretty quickly. And then the last piece is your 13 millimeter and an 11. The 13 millimeter is needed to mount the actual bracket. The 11 is to mount your gas pedal. And you can come see over here, it completed and installed. Get this guy out of the way for you guys. Oh, there you go. So if you come down here close, you'll see here the 2 bolts up top, one down here, the one here that holds the actual bracket, and you'll see right here, nice and like factory feel, and it has the factory stopper, which is so cool. Fabless got this down legit. Good job, guys. I'm super happy with this. Now we're off to actually doing the clutch installation now, because we need a clutch in this car, and we're going to show you how to mount a clutch in this guy. So let's get to work. Alright, so next step is actually taking the steering wheel off, because we have to actually take the steering wheel column out. The reason why we're going to do this is to simplify the installation. It is kind of possible to do it with the steering wheel installed and the column installed, but in all honesty, I think it's just going to be less of a headache if you pull the steering wheel out. The good thing is I already had this unbolted, so it's just literally a 1 bolt for me, and popping the steering wheel off. So that part's done. And then we're going to get to the next part here. If you come down this way to the column, come right over here, you're going to see there's a bolt here, one, and then one on the other side. There's 2 bolts here, and now we're going to go down below and show you what to do next to get this column out. I'm going to move wiring, a bunch of wiring out of the way. Okay, and then we're going to go down here. We're going to actually remove the shift, or not the shift, the column, I guess, joints here, which is a 13, and then there's a 10 right above it that has a bolt that goes right across over. Once you remove those out of there, you'll be able to actually just pull this whole column out, and then we'll show you what to do next. Okay, so now to do the clutch on this car, or the hydraulic clutch conversion, there's a little bit of work involved, but it's not that bad. So remember earlier we talked about these two bolts right here? If you take those two off, the column you just pull towards you and down, and the whole column falls down like this. Very, very simple, and it's out of the way now. Now the next thing is we have to get this whole entire assembly here, the brake and clutch assembly, because the bracket mounts right here, right on top. You can see this little notch here and these two holes. It mounts on the other side like this and down. But the issue is that we have right now, it's not lined up 100% because the steering wheel column has to come, the pedal assembly has to come out. We got to unbolt it and slide this guy further over to the right. Because if I try to put it in right now as it sits, you'll see right here, it hits and it doesn't line up nicely the way that we want it to. So this is not the right way to install it. So we got to take the pedal assembly out and get it done correctly. So let's get to work. So there's a few bolts. There's a 13 millimeter right here. There's another one down below. Right over here. You'll see right where the gas pedal's at. And it's, okay, I didn't lose it, cool. There it is now, that's gone. So that guy's gone. So, just keep unbolting stuff until everything comes out. Let's see here. Alright, so looks like we're going to take out the column right here, which is two 13s right there, and then there should be a 13 right back here as well. You guys see my finger poking. You see that? There's a 13 in there. I know it's kind of hard. Right down there. You'll see 3 of them in total. So we're going to take those guys off right now. And give it another wiggle. It's still on there nice and snug. Keep going. You gotta wait till you get everything off. Right now I'm only been using the 13. Haven't changed anything yet. That one I'm going to use a 13 wrench for. Watch out, Mark. Just so you guys know, I hired Mark as my cameraman now. He's going to be in other videos as well, but for right now, for today, this is a little more complicated than what he's used to, because he's not used to anything yet. So we're going to be teaching him more as we go. But I think Mark wants to be my apprentice. I don't know. What do you think, Mark? Maybe. Well, that doesn't make me feel happy. You know, I told Mark, I go, if he does good, I might buy him a car. Give him a little Mark IV. but it sounds like he just wants to be a maybe. I don't know. So right now we're just pulling, I'm bolting this guy down here below. And this is for the column. So it looks like this is a top layer, or yeah, like a kind of a top layer bolt. And this one covers the steering wheel assembly, or prevents it from coming out. So we're going to pull this guy out. And look around for any other bolts. Ah, there's one more. Number 4 down here. Number 4, no, that's number 5. That's the 5th one now. So, okay, that's the 6 ones in total. Let's see if this guy wants to come out. Nope, there's something missing. Now look around. I might have to take out the gas pedal and look. I don't see anything else holding it. Or is it just jammed in there? Yeah, we're going to take that gas pedal out really quick. That sucks. To did all this work. You got that info. The good thing it's not like super difficult to take out this Fabless kit. So that's what makes me happy. So this is technically my second time doing this, so bear with me, guys. Here's that gas pedal out. And then we're going to get those 13s. Because now we got to pull these out. All that's out. And see, there is another bolt right there. Bolt number 7 right there. It should be the last one. What do you think, Mark? Yeah, let's check on the outside because it might be bolted on with something else. You can stop recording. All right, so one issue that we came across on the Mark II pretty much gas and brake assembly is that my Mark II's assembly has actually been repaired, been modified, so the clutch slave or master system is not working correctly. However, it's exactly the same the way you install it. It's very straightforward. You could actually do this without taking the whole assembly out, but I had to due to the fact of what's wrong with mine. you will actually, by default, by the factory, there's 2 holes right here that you don't see here because this car has been modified. So we gotta drill those 2 holes out, and then these 2 holes will actually line up correctly to that, and you bolt it onto these 2 holes. And then a little bit down over here, you'll see this. You see how far off we are in mounting here. So we're gonna drill this hole out, and we're not gonna adjust anything else to mount this mount this bracket to this hole. And that's it. We're going to do a little bit of grinding and repainting. That way it's safe. And maybe if I do a little bit of grinding on this side, you guys will see here, hopefully this will actually, if I grind this down, probably down a little bit and over, curve it, it should give us the extra room we need to do it 100%. So bear with us after we do the repair on this, and then we'll show you what to do next. Alright everyone, so on the Mark II, you're not supposed to have this much difficulty like we did, because again, we're giving you an update that someone kind of welded the crap out of this thing, and it's not the original assembly. So we had to do some modifications of our own to make everything bolt on. If you guys were in a real situation where you didn't have to do this, all you had to do is put this bracket right over. You wouldn't have to pull out the assembly like we did. Pull it over, put the 2 bolts, tighten it down, and you'll see here these holes right here. These holes are so you can put the nut inside here so you can hold it down. Unfortunately, we can't do that because we had this, so we had to make up our own way to gain the bolts up here to bolt these down. We actually had to drill through here. But if you look here on the way that the clutch or the master cylinder is mounted, it's mounted upside down. So make sure you remember that. You have to mount it upside down. So this, the bleeder screw and this clears correctly, and the upper portion of the actual the pressure bar here goes in. And you'll see when I push down on this, that's pretty much what you need to have. That's the actuation that we need. Beautiful, beautiful kit, guys, from Fabless Manufacturing. I'm very, very impressed on how this goes on and how well it goes in. If my assembly was not so manhandled and destroyed, this would have been legitimately a 20-minute, 30-minute job. This took us about an hour to repair, but we were able to do it. And it's like, again, this is not Fabless's fault. This is the original owner of this car's fault. So do that, and then the next thing is we're gonna mount the steel braided line that goes in here all the way outside. We're gonna put this whole assembly back in. This goes in first. Mount the 4 screws to the power booster first, and then everything else around it, and then you'll be done pretty much. So we're going to put all this back together, and then we'll show you what to do next. So here's Mark working on the Mark II. Oh, isn't that funny? Mark and Mark. So I got Mark pretty much putting back the pedal assembly on the Mark II. He's pretty much my co-star for this season. So he's been Mr. Helper, man. This guy has been awesome. How old are you, Mark? 15. He's 15 years old, man. And already wanting to work on cars. So that's freaking cool. So the Mark II. And everything we're going to be putting, like for mounting wise, is from Fabless Manufacturing. So it's going to be pretty dope when we're done with this car. These are not the wheels that are going on this car. We got some Gaudis going on it. So 9.5 Gaudis all around. Excuse the lighting, but he needs to see. So yeah, we're putting all those bolts back on. Those 8 13mm bolts, nice and snug. And then once all that's done, Mark's gonna finish up. Alright guys, so Mark and I finished the Mark II on the gas pedal. You'll see that already installed. The clutch slaves master cylinder right there, installed, mounted. Everything works as it should. The work that we had to do is because, it's like I said, my Mark II has been modified. So you guys that don't have maybe a modified Mark II, You might not have to worry about it as much. It's pretty straightforward. If you guys have all the tools and the know-how, it should take you no more than an hour to do both of them, honestly. This took a lot longer than it should, but you know what? At the end of the day, it came out really good. The last thing I'm going to show you guys is where to run the steel braided line, and that'll be in just a moment. Okay, so next is the steel braided line. If you come down here, you'll see right here, we use just one of these body grommets. You're going to run that through. Find a good spot right there, and you're going to hand thread this in. Right now, we're not going to add any fluid into the system. We just want to route everything where it's going to sit nicely. We don't want to damage anything as we install stuff. So you want to hand thread everything before you make a decision on where this cable or this line is going to route. And you see right here, this is not a non-moving part, so technically you can zip tie this to here, and you're good. Watch out, Mark. We're going to grab the steering wheel, and we're going to confirm that by putting it back on and see if it doesn't affect anything. Alright, so now we're going to mount your steering wheel. Who cares if it's not lined up or not? We don't really care right now. We just want to make sure that when this is on, it's not affecting anything clutch wise. Anything you ever install in a car, always, if there's something that moves in that area, always just try to put something on there. Make sure it doesn't rub or affect anything. Oh wow, my steering wheel locked. I forgot to take the key out of the ignition. And then just turn the wheel. And then just look, and yeah, nothing's being in the way. Legit. You guys can come down here, come close. Let me see this really quick. You guys can see there's the hydraulic, the master cylinder going all the way into the slave cylinder area. And yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful piece in the car. Right here's your bleed valve. Right here's your where you're going to fill in your brake fluid, or hydraulic fluid, or whatever you want. And there's a hose that you get out, and you can mount it somewhere around here when we get to that point. Right now we're not even there yet, but you can see actuates beautifully, brakes at work, and we have a gas pedal now. And all three working awesome. Freaking thanks to Fabless Manufacturing and Mark for helping us out. And oh, let's show you where we routed the slave cylinder as well. Might as well just go over here and show you. So that's where the slave cylinder is gonna, well, it's on the ground now, but you'll see it comes out through there, and it's going to be sitting there beautifully. If you want to find a better location, it's really up to you. I mean, the transmission is going to sit somewhere around here, so it's going to sit like right here. So yeah, there could be a better mounting location. We'll figure that out when we get to that point, once the engine's in here. But this is kind of like your resting place for this spot, for this part. So it's going to look great once we're done with everything. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in this episode of PincheAls Garage with Mark. Turn the camera around. With Mark. The homie. The 15-year-old awesome kid that wanted to learn how to work on V-dubs. Say hi, everybody. Hi. Yeah, he's still new to this this stuff here. There you go. There's Mark. Yep. So, yeah, we're working on this. Mark and Di and my nephew. So every day we get a day off. I put my time into it and finish it up. But yep, now that you've seen the crossbar, the clutch, and gas pedal setup, that's everything from Fabless you need right now to swap over a 1.8T. We're going to show you the last portions of it once the motor goes in. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in to this awesome episode of PincheAls Garage, brought to you by Fabless Manufacturing. We make quality parts. Thanks, guys. Peace out.